Thanksgiving Survival Guide, Gravy, Gratitude, and Getting Through It. Thanksgiving, the holiday where you're grateful for the food and, well, maybe a little less grateful for the side of family drama. If navigating holiday chaos feels like its own contact sport, then grab your fork and let's dive into some tips for surviving and, well, maybe even thriving this Thanksgiving. Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Dr. Angel. I have a PhD in psychology and a private mental health practice, and I talk about all things mental health from a practical, strengths-based, and, well, nerdy perspective. Thanksgiving can be a time of gratitude or just a lot of gravy with a side of family drama and stress. In this episode, we're going to break it down. We're going to give you some practical tips to help you set boundaries, find your own joy, and, well, make it through the holiday with a little more peace and maybe even an extra piece of pie. Thanksgiving is the art of trying not to roll your eyes while you're filling your plate. So we're going to break it down with the top 10 Thanksgiving tips for this year to survive this year's holiday. And we're going to start it out with number 10. We're going to start with gratitude. We want to have that reality check. And I'm not talking about the cliche gratitude things, although those are important. We're talking about some simple things. Keeping it real, guys. We're keeping it simple. We're keeping it real. We're just going to talk about 3 things that we might be grateful for right before the festivities begin. Even if it's just, I'm grateful for there's pie, or I'm grateful that Aunt Sonia is bringing her pumpkin roll, or if it's that I'm grateful that my family has a lot of wildness and we get some good laughs sometimes and it gives us some stuff to talk about through the years. Find 3 things you're grateful for. We're going to utilize your brain's reticular activating system to help you, to work with you and not against you. Because I know y'all been talking about the family drama now for at least a week, because you know what we're getting ready to walk into, and that's on the front of your mind. All the negativity, all the side comments, all the judgments and criticisms and things that just feel really chaotic and stressful. And so your brain is going to want to look for those things because that's what we put on the front of the brain. So we're going to back it back up and unwind it a little bit. And just before we go into the event, find some things you are looking forward to and you're grateful for. And keep it simple, keep it real. Gratitude doesn't erase the stress, but it makes space for joy. And when we share that gratitude or we think about that gratitude, then we're going to find more positive things, even if it's in a mess. So remember, if gratitude's the gravy, then we need to pour it on the moments that need a little extra flavor. Tip number 9, give yourself permission to take breaks. This is a really important concept when we're walking into any environment that has the potential to be like overstimulating or stressful or just a lot of moving parts at one time. Thanksgiving meals is a lot of food, a lot of people in the kitchen a lot of the times. Football games are going, kids are they're hungry, and we want everything to come out and be perfect and together. And so we get so wrapped up in the vision that we set in our mind for what Thanksgiving should look like that we forget to stop and breathe. And so take those little breaks, steal away some me time when you need it, even if it's just hiding out for 5 minutes. Bathroom breaks, they're not just for the bladder, they're for our mental health sometimes. So go to the bathroom, splash some water on your face, sit down and play a game of Sudoku on the phone, step outside, take the dog for a walk, but get yourself some of those breaks. Put them throughout the day for yourself. Because it's important for you to have those breaks in any situation, even with the most beautiful, lovely, get along family there is. We still need breaks because there's just a lot of things happening at the same time. Remember that taking those breaks, it's kind of stuffing for our mental health, and it gives us an opportunity to breathe. And that is one thing we forget to do when a lot of stuff is happening, is breathe. Number 8, practice neutral zone topics for the dinner table. Our last episode, we talked about making some scripts for topics that might get difficult and we want to get out of them. Well, let's come prepared with a few safe topics that we could talk about. Things like football, sports, food, pets, holiday movies, places we've traveled to this year, things we've accomplished this year. Like, let's have some ideas of things we can rope some of those not so fun conversations into. And then when in doubt, and you're not sure what to talk about, ask everyone's opinion on the best Thanksgiving dessert. You'll see a lot of passions flying when we're talking about some sweet treats. So when in doubt, stick to pumpkin versus pecan debates, not politics. Next, we're going to talk about setting boundaries. And this is a simple part. Last episode, we covered this in a little bit more detail, but we need to have boundaries with our family and our loved ones and the people in our world. If it's friends, family, whoever they are, we need boundaries for us. And boundaries keep us calm and stop us from saying, pass the turkey, through our clenched teeth. Boundaries are the invisible casserole dish that we bring to every gathering. They kind of help keep things together. And so think of those places and spaces that you might need to have a few extra boundaries for yourself. If you can't do something, then say an honest no, because an honest no is better than a yes that never follows through. And so respect yourself enough to say no, even if it means leaving leftovers behind. It's okay. And breathe. Mindful eating. This is something I think a lot of us don't think about. We spend so much time preparing for the day and talking about the menu and the traditions and the who's doing what and what's doing this and that when we sit down to eat, first of all, we're usually really hungry because let's just face it, Thanksgiving usually never really comes all together on time. Sometimes the turkey takes a little extra long. Things are just feeling a little, wild, and we're hungry. In fact, we're probably hangry. So leaving out a few snacks can be really helpful for that. But so we sit down to eat, we're just trying to gobble it all up because we're just hungry and we're stressed and we want to get out of the moment sometimes. And so, but we really want to stop and just have some mindful eating. Pay attention to what you're eating. Savor the flavors. Oh my gosh, Thanksgiving uses some of the most beautiful spices and it's so hearthy and it just makes the house feel so warm and inviting, and just savor it. Take time to really enjoy the food. Savoring each bite helps you keep calm. It helps you keep grounded. It helps to keep you in this moment and this time, which keeps the stress levels down. So a great trick that you can do is pretend that you're a Thanksgiving food critic. Things like thinking in your mind, ooh, this stuffing is a little nutty with a hint of sage. I would give it a 10 out of 10. Think about those things in your mind because you're more likely to eat mindfully and slowly and savor what you're eating. We're taking in tons of calories. We might as well enjoy the journey that day. Life is kind of like a Thanksgiving dinner. It's best savored slowly. Our next tip is have your exit strategy pre-planned. Before you go, have it planned. If you're the host, we might need to have some boundaries of when we need things to wrap up by. So when things are getting a little wild, tense, tired, kids are getting whiny, you've had enough, have a plan to gracefully exit the scene. Even if it's just stepping outside, but even if it's leaving, going back to your hotel, going home, going to a park, taking a nice long walk, long break. It's important to have the plan before you need the plan, because when you're in the moment and we feel backed into a corner and we want to escape, those plans usually kind of blow up in our face. So think about your plan. Even if you now don't need to use it, have a plan. It's better to have a plan and not need it than need a plan and not have it. So remember, you might need to suddenly go take your dog out for a walk or check on something very important at your house or get your kids home or whatever it is. Make yourself have that escape plan, because just knowing in our mind that we have an escape plan helps us get through stressful moments better, with more grace, more patience, and more tolerance. When we feel trapped, that's when we start coming out with that frustration and anger and snappiness, and it blows up and it creates things that makes us say or do things that we're not proud of or that we don't want to say or do. And so at the end of the day, have that plan. Your mind knows it has a plan and it can calm down a little bit. So it's not feeling backed into a corner. It knows it has the freedom to go. And so that's what having those exit plans really do for us. So when in doubt, just step out and take a chill or go home or go somewhere else. It's okay. Next tip is embrace saying no without guilt. We talked about this in the last episode, but if you're asked to do something, if you're asked to take a task that you seriously can't manage or you don't want to, it's okay to say no. The beauty of no is that it clears the space for the real yeses. And so you can just say, hey, I'm saving my cooking skills for the leftovers this year, or whatever you need to have. But we need to have those moments for ourselves. And then I really want you to stop, because we can get caught up in all the motion and all the things and all the chaos that the Thanksgiving brings with it. But create a new tradition for yourself that you actually love, that you'll enjoy, that you look forward to. It can be something silly or simple or quiet. So whether it's I want to take a walk after I eat dinner, or I want to watch a holiday movie, or I want to bake something by myself or for myself, or I want to, you can fill this blank in with so many things. I find one of my favorite personal holiday traditions for myself on Thanksgiving is I really enjoy eggnog. And so I love to have a cup of eggnog. I love to turn on the early morning parades and just kind of have that festivity in the house in the morning while I'm cooking in the kitchen and I can see it before all the chaos starts. It's kind of nice and exciting for me. I look forward to it. And of course, I look forward to the football games that day because it's a football lover's day too. Food and football, what gets better than that, right? So find one thing that feels warm, or a blanket, or a food, or a drink, or whatever, and make a tradition for yourself. Traditions are meant to be created, not just followed. We don't have to do what we've always done if it doesn't serve us, if we don't enjoy it. And so make the traditions you do enjoy. It'll be a lot more fun and you'll look forward to it. Next tip is expect and accept imperfection. It's not going to go as planned. It will not go according to the way you think it, perceive it, and plan it. Things always happen. Anytime we're coordinating anything big, even if you're just cooking for you and the person you live with, things still don't go as planned typically. And so it's okay. Imperfection kind of makes the fun and the joy and the great stories we can talk about later on and enjoy. And so keep it real. Real life Thanksgivings aren't picture perfect. Embrace the chaos and go with the flow. Remember, Thanksgiving does not look like it's represented on television through our advertisers for supermarkets who have the most beautiful, luscious Thanksgiving, or for the movies that we watch on the channel that perpetuates holiday movies with the most perfect, iconic scenes. That's not real life. Real life is the kids are crying and screaming and the turkey's undercooked and this is overboiling and this person is having a problem with that person. Like, that's what happens typically. And so it's okay. Breathe and know it's going to be okay. Go with the flow. Perfect is for pies. Families, not so much. So it's okay. Think about Christmas Vacation movie. When I think of it's going to go imperfect, that is the movie that symbolizes everything going wrong and nothing according to plan. However, and I understand it's fiction, but we have been there. And however, there's still those moments that can be savored, and it's not going to be the way we think it's going to be, and that's okay. Let it be what it's going to be, because it'll help us get through that and enjoy that a little more. So if the turkey's burnt, well, just call it well done and throw some gravy on it. And our last tip here is focus on one person who brings you joy. Seek out and spend time with someone who lightens the mood or makes you laugh or can make the world a difference in your day. It's always fun to have that buddy that you can make your Thanksgiving eye rolls when your Aunt Myrtle says the comment that she always says that drives you nuts, or this person is doing something that we can predict. And so when things get tense, having a Thanksgiving buddy can be really helpful, because it can help us make light of things that might have felt really stressful and overwhelming to us. And we're sharing it with someone, so we have support and we don't feel alone. And well, if your family's fun, or if you have some people in your family that like to have a little fun, you can always create the family bingo game and set it on the cell phone cards and Fill it full of ridiculous little things and quirks your family has and see how that goes during the day. Of course, we're doing it in good fun, but it can lighten up all kinds of moods, and it can be a great thing to look for throughout the day. But think of that buddy for yourself. Sometimes all you need is one good person to make the whole holiday feel a little lighter. Feel like you're not alone in whatever it is you're there for. So whether you're here for the stuffing, the gratitude, or just surviving the day, remember, you've got this. If you found this content helpful or enjoyable, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell so you'll be notified when new episodes drop. Join us next week as we talk about the science of stress. May your Thanksgiving be filled with joy, love, peace, and cherished moments with your loved ones. Thank you for being a part of our journey. We look forward to continuing this adventure with you. That's a wrap. Stay curious, be kind, and keep your mind nerdy. See you next time on Nerdy Psychology.